Well, the game plan was to obviously stay tight early and try and obviously jab with him because I got long arms and I can jab as well. You know, I was supposed to jab with him, right the jabs to the body and the shoulders and stuff, and then find range and then start pushing on as the fight went on. And then I started to push on, and obviously, sometimes you can reflect and think, should I start pushing on earlier? I should have done this, I should have done that. But it's boxing, and obviously, he had a game plan, I had a game plan. But obviously, it was way better than what they thought it was, and way more elusive than what they thought it was as well.
You spoke.
Ooh, what's good, family? Shout out Don Axmad from the Six. Yeah, on some drizzy thing right now for boosting up your man the YB coin. No doubt about it, 100% confirmed. So we just heard there from your mans, Dillian, the Shillian, shite. Wow. Now, this interview is obviously another leaked snippet. Dillian going through it. I've already talked about, got a video coming soon. Me and one of my physician dons are going to sit down and go through the trauma, or the neuropsychological trauma Dillian Whyte is exhibiting or has been exhibiting in the last few days. Now, from what I'm hearing, after I exposed Dean Whyte stepping out of the marital bed and going to seek alpha validation from Team Fury, yeah, no shame having us wives. In this day and age, in 2022, there's no loyalty, there's no love and loyalty in this game. Yeah, women will go where the alpha is, and Dillian, you was on the floor with your teeth bucked out your... You know what I mean? You got your teeth knocked out your bonnet, so you ain't no alpha compared to Tyson Fury. That's what I'm telling. Listen, I'm explaining to you why Dean weren't with you on fight night or on post-fight night morning. On Sunday, Dean Whyte was trying to mingle with the alpha's team. That's what he was doing. Yeah, singing, "Oh, Tyson Fury!" Yeah, Dean Fury. From now on, Dean Fury, yeah? Don't hear no more about Dean Whyte. Yeah, you best believe it. Dean Fury. So yeah, anyway, I've done exposed that. Dillian Whyte, he ain't well. And apparently, Dean Fury making it worse now. Because we know what Dean and Dillian be doing. Yeah, it's no wonder Dillian ain't got no chin. Big burly Don. Just think about it. Let's do a bit of mental thinking here. Can you imagine? Imagine having to top the big burly Don, Dean. Yeah, big bulbous mandingo wanna be ass. It's no shock that Dillian Whyte ain't got no chin. There's no shock in that. Yeah, his shit's been stretched all out. Yeah, his bont's all stretched out from Dean, 100%. Big mandingo warrior wanna be ass, 100%. Anyway, let's get back to the point here. You heard there from Dillian, he not well. Let's go through the actual quotes, because if I didn't look at the quotes, I wouldn't be able to make it up any other way. It's actually unbelievable. And people, for all the things Wilder said, yeah, when Wilder talked about, it was the aliens, it was the toad venom, it was the suit. What you notice about, to give Deontay Wilder some respect, and don't forget people, Dillian Whyte roasted Wilder for his excuses, but guess what? For all of Deontay Wilder's excuses, they all were a certain type of excuse. They were excusing his poor performance. You never once heard Deontay Wilder say, yeah, I was better than what he thought. Yeah, I was way more elusive. No. Deontay Wilder made excuses to explain why his performance was so bad. Do you get what I mean? Like, Deontay Wilder wasn't deluded enough to think that, oh no, I was really good, but he pushed me. No, Deontay Wilder, by using his excuses, accepted my performance was bad, I agree, but it was bad because of A, B, C, D. Dillian isn't doing that. Dillian's saying, my performance was amazing, I was super elusive, and it was one lucky punch and a push. That there is the pinnacle of delusional, especially when we've actually watched the fight. Do you understand? So I actually give Deontay Wilder some respect here, relatively speaking, because as far as shocking excuses go post-fight, Dillian is the champion. Yeah? Deontay Wilder, in his last two fights, has never come out and said, yeah, it was 50-50, yeah, I was elusive, yeah, I was better than he expected. No, he accepted he was crap and tried to... And that's, to be honest, looking back now, to be fair to Wilder, that's what an athlete has to do. An athlete has to come up with answers. Otherwise, what are you supposed to say? I'm useless and no good. You have to come up with answers to plug the holes, to plug the deficit holes. Okay, I was bad, my legs were tired. Maybe it was the suit. Maybe it was this. Maybe it was that. That's what you have to do. Now, of course, you're supposed to have that kind of conversation internally. But really, looking at Dillian Whyte as a case study, wow. Because not only is he making excuses, he actually thinks he did well. And this is what I've been saying. This for me is a wider conversation about, number one, having real people in your team. And that's why I think the job I do is needed. Because I ain't going to lie to no one. It's as simple as that. I ain't lying to no one. You're going to get the bottom line truth. Because I hold myself to the same standard. No one can tell me nothing. I'll tell you first. Oops. Yeah? I'm in the basement. Oops. You ain't going to lie to no one. It is what it is. These cats today, though, in these camps, I mean, we saw it with AJ the other time. Oh, brilliant, AJ. Yeah, you're getting outboxed by a man half your size. Brilliant. Keep doing that. It's like, what is these guys? But again, you can see this with Dillian Whyte. And this, for me, is, in fact, it's exactly the same as the AJ fight. After the AJ fight, no one sat AJ down and said, listen, that was crap. Go in there and apologise to the fans for wasting their money and wasting their time. Instead, AJ came out and said, fans need to be grateful. I hope they're happy. I put in a lot of work for this and I can't wait to go back home and start training. What? It's completely skewed. Obviously, when AJ got back to the changing room, all the backslappers were there. Oh, great job, mate. Yeah, mate. Oh, you win some, you lose some, mate. Yeah, mate. Apples and pears, mate. Yeah, mate. Good job, Ant. Yeah, Ant. Great job, Ant, mate. What? Same as White here. Who telling this guy, oh, it was way better than he thought? Are you joking? Tyson Fury didn't get out of second gear, Dillian. Genuinely. And as bad as AJ was against Usyk, he won as bad as... Usyk didn't make AJ look completely silly. You looked genuinely silly. I've never seen someone look so useless at this level. That's just what it is, people. Every shot Dillian threw was miles off, apart from a few body shots, which didn't do anything. That's genuinely the bottom line here. Even my mum, whose eye isn't trained, was saying, "Is this some sort of joke? What is it? What is that? Has he been training?" These are the things that bare bottom line casuals were saying. That's how bad it was. Sometimes a trained eye can see discrepancies. Genuine casuals were outraged at how bad it looked. People were saying, what's going on? Is this look like some novice fighting, some untrained novice with big udders, yeah? No shape have an ass. And you're talking about Dillian, you was the opposite. You were categorically the opposite of Elusive. That's why your bonce ended up on the end of his right hand in the 6th. And the worst thing is, people, in this fight, and I bet a lot of honest White fans need to admit this, most people, myself included, did not see a way Fury was going to end this in the first half. And that there is obviously you give Fury credit, but that shows how bad Dillian was. Because in all of Tyson Fury's fights, even now he's become a power puncher to some extent, to a high extent, it still takes him 7-10 rounds. He still breaks you down. Do you understand? So for Tyson Fury, who breaks people down, to chin you, because KOs in the first half, that's explosive power, and or useless opponent. Do you understand? No one was expecting that, really. Yeah, obviously there was a market for it. Some people bet on Fury in 6, but for the most part, no one saw that coming. Especially not from one shot as well. It's not like, fair enough, yeah, if Fury had been battering Dillian all over the ring, I could see that coming. But to go from 0 to 100 from one shot, and you're talking about Elusive, Tyson Fury was merciful and didn't give you much to do for the first 6 rounds, and still you was blowing. And still you found a way to run right onto the end of an uppercut he threw once. And you talk, that to me is like, to sit there, can you imagine the audacity? Imagine, yeah, the audacity of being caught with one shot and then talking about being elusive. Isn't that a genuine, perfect contradiction? I'm elusive, but I got caught with a shot that Tyson Fury has never caught anyone with. Oh, it's elusive. I'm telling you now, if I ever have a boxing fight, and I get knocked out, you best believe the last word you'll hear me mention is elusive. What happened to the days where that was the case? You know what, mate, if you get knocked out, it's probably best not to talk about being elusive. Because if you was elusive, your teeth wouldn't have been knocked right out of your mouth. Yeah? But, like I said, in 2022, no one ain't gonna check no one. Most of these cats are females in their insides. Yeah, that Xavier Miller and whoever else, everyone sucks these trainers off. Oh, Harold Knight, I don't give a fuck who he is, to be honest with you. Whoever he is, clearly didn't tell Dillian, for whatever reason. Dillian, man, there was nothing elusive about that performance. You was so slow, and so sloppy, and so chinless, and so chinned. It's the opposite of elusive. That's what he should have been told. That's what I'm telling him now. But obviously these female cats who are all involved, oh, well, I'm getting coin. Oh, get the bag. Well, of course get the bag, but don't lie. Do you know what I'm saying? What happened to that? What happened to getting the bag, of course, but don't lie to people? Dillian, you weren't elusive. There's nothing elusive about your performance. That's God's honest truth. And I'd be lying to myself. I'd be lying to the craft of boxing by telling you was elusive. That, let me tell you now, that conversation didn't happen. They was there saying, yeah, mate, you was well elusive for 5 rounds. And I bet in Dillian's mind, he's saying, well, of course I was elusive because he didn't chin me in the first 5. Well, no, it doesn't work like that. Being elusive would be getting to the end of the fight. That's the baseline for elusiveness. Get to the end of a fight without being in serious trouble. Then you can get some credit for some level of elusiveness. Getting chinned within 6 is the opposite of elusive. What else did this cat say? Let me got some more notes here. I'm sorry, but it pissed me off. This day and age pissed me off. Oh, that's it. I'm way better. Listen, Dillian Whyte didn't only say I'm better than he expected. He said I'm way better than he expected. Now, I think what's happened here is Tyson Fury is a merciful man. That's why he pushed Dillian. He knew Dillian was useless and chinless and thought, you know what? Let me make sure he gets home to his kids, Tony Bellend style. Yeah? But I think what's happened here is, because I've heard Dean Whyte, Dillian's wife, came out the other day and started woofing about this. Oh, yeah. Even Tyson Fury said he's going to be world champ. Listen, like I said, Tyson Fury, at that point in time, was experiencing ecstasy. Yeah, 95,000 fans. He was high. I've been, not to that extent, but we all know, when you've been to a decent level in sport, and you get a win, you're buzzing. And you want everyone to feel, you know what I mean? It's almost like you popped a dizzle. Yeah, if you pop a dizzle, and you're feeling too nice, you want everyone else to feel nice like you. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what Tyson Fury was doing. He was feeling nice and he was trying to spread the love. Oh yeah, you'll be world champ for sure when I'm not here. Dillian Whyte's team have taken that and ran with it to the bank. Rather than seeing, wait there a minute, he's just knocked your cold out within the 6th round. He's probably just gassing because he feels good. They're sitting there parroting this. Oh yeah, and that's why Dillian Whyte's saying he's way better than they expected, because Tyson Fury has told you that you're going to be world champ. Listen, let me tell you, Tyson Fury being polite. Yeah, Tyson Fury's never knocked no one out with 1 punch in 6 rounds. So that shows you how good you were, Dillian. And that's what I mean by when I say people today don't want to go by facts. They want to go by random ass anything but facts. The facts are Tyson Fury don't KO no one with one shot within 6 rounds. So if you do end up that guy, you got serious problems and you are seriously flawed. And not only that, it's not like, well, YB, Dillian was in the fight and then he got caught. It wasn't like that. You looked awful as well on the way there. Like I said, watch AJ versus Usyk. AJ wasn't out of his depth. He didn't look AJ didn't look silly in there, did he? Until the 12th round. He didn't look like, oh wow, he's so slow, or wow, he's so clumsy. It wasn't a schooling from Usyk. But that fight there, Dillian looked clumsy. He looked slow. He looked useless. None of his big shots landed. He was just bowling them. He looked like a lazy brawler, because you can't even say Dillian was brawling, because Dillian brawling would be going in there, chin down, and just wanging away. He wasn't doing that. He wasn't consistent. He wasn't putting combinations together. He'd go in there, be about 2 feet out of range, and then just throw a big wide one that was never going to do anything, that Fury was going to see coming from miles off. So it wasn't even strategic pressure. He was just, I'm not sure what you'd call it. He wasn't even gambling, because he knew boxers train every day, yeah, well, like Shoe may do. You know when a shot's on target or not. Every single shot Dillian threw, yeah, he knew was never going to land. They're the kind of shots you throw, yeah, when you know you're not doing anything, and you feel a bit guilty to the fans, and you think, oh, let me just do this, and you know what I mean, and see if I can, to make it look like I'm trying. But he knew he was never going to do nothing. Every single shot Dillian Whyte threw was a kind of shot you throw when you don't really want to risk yourself, because to get into range as a smaller fighter, you have to risk yourself. That's what Canelo does well. He accepts, I'm going to get jabbed. He accepts that and goes forward anyway, and then gets his shot on target. Dillian didn't want to push through that. He didn't, until he got chinned. The only time really Dillian came forward was when he ended up getting chinned, and the worst thing about that is he didn't do it smartly. He didn't have his hands up. Dillian had his hands by his chest and just waded forward. About I was elusive and I was better than they expected. You was more useless than they expected. Honestly. And there needs to be some sort of memo put out, because it's not helping the fighters. We've lost a whole generation. The only smart one in the game is Tyson Fury, unfortunately. We've lost a whole generation of half-decent talent because of the wet training standards going on today. Look at Billy Joe. Look at AJ. No one's telling them the truth. Everyone's thinking. The problem is, to some extent, is the fact that the bag's so big. Now, not only are fighters making life-changing money, you've got the second support trainers sitting there thinking, damn, Dillian might making 7 mil. I'm getting 5%. What's that? 350 grand for a quarter of a year's work. It's mad money. So I get it to some extent why people are saying, you know what? Because back in the day, when you're making 10, 20 grand as a support staff, it's not the end. It's nice money to have, but it's not gonna. You might not necessarily forgo your ethics or the truth for it. These days, though, people are thinking, damn, that 350 grand bag, I'm just gonna keep down and keep my head under. You know what I mean? Keep low here, and keep gassing him up. But anyway, got some more videos coming soon on this topic. It's mad.